is the Gallagher Grand Prix of Indianapolis. Felix Rosenquist of Arrow McLaren SP on the left-hand side of your screen, starting from the pole with Alexander Rossi. Let's go racing at the Brickyard.
Picture perfect start, 2 wide all the way down, but now 4 wide into turn 1. Who's that? McLaughlin.
Joseph
Newgarden sending it up the inside.
And Lundgaard in that red and white car on the inside. He's come from 6th to 4th.
Oh,
spinner.
Pato
Award, one of the championship contenders.
Marcus Ericsson getting through there. Sounds like he may have stalled the car.
I got hit and I stalled.
Sounds like he got hit from behind and he stalled. They're still going 2 by through the chicane. Tough to get through there, Dale.
Yeah, very tricky part of the racetrack. Down into 7 here. With some bumps in that braking zone can get you in trouble.
Will Power up the inside of David Malukas, the promising young rookie. Callum Eilert and Takuma Sato going wheel to wheel. So too is Romain Grosjean and Scott Dixon in that orange and blue car. Grosjean on the inside for this turn. He was extremely frustrated after qualifying. Could not get the car to work. Equally so Dixon.
Callum Eilert on the inside of Takuma Sato there. We saw an incident in the May race here. Scott Dixon looks down the inside. Callum on the outside of turn 12. That rarely works. Can he pull it off in at 13?
Meanwhile, I'm watching that red and white car championship leader. Ericsson has only made up 2 spots.
3.
As they run right now, Ericsson is now 12 points behind in the championship, running in 2nd on that opening lap by virtue of starting at the back.
Colton Herta on the inside of Christian Lundgaard Jr. Here's the replay. Watch the second orange car, Pato Award. Who hits him? Let's have a look. Let's have a look.
Looks like Will Power there, a little contact.
It's like Colton Herta got into the side of Will Power. Will lucky to miss the spinning 5 car. Colton into Will.
I will say that Power didn't hit Award as much as it was just squeezing 3 into 2 here. Oh, Power got hit on the inside.
Yeah, Colton hit Power.
Left front.
Look at that move. Just missed him.
Onto the grass, looks like Takuma Sato. Look at Joseph Newgarden up the inside, guys. What a bomb on the inside. Incredible from Joseph. Pato leaving lots of room there, but that's a 3-car situation. When he thinks it's only 2 wide, nothing he can really do there.
And those are important views for race control to see, to realize that that was just a racing incident as Romain Grosjean in that yellow and red car continuing to be aggressive. And here comes Ericsson, Diff.
Right on cue, T-Bell, as you say that, the message comes up. Incident involving multiple cars under review by the stewards of this Gallagher Grand Prix. We'll come back to you with more on that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you think about that, Dale. That's a racing incident to me. If they're laying blame on someone there, I'd be pretty surprised.
Yeah, a lot of guys going for the same piece of real estate there. Just hard racing. You got to expect that first turn, first lap.
And race control is going to have to watch this action live, which is a lot of defensive swerving down the front straightaway.
Teammates, the Dale Coyne Racing entrance, Takuma Sato, Malukas side by side through 2. Behind that, Marcus Ericsson side by side with Eilert. Down into 4 here.
Feel like we're seeing a replay of last weekend in Iowa. Malukas and Sato spent a lot of time side by side battling it out. Malukas gets to the front, and Kyle Kirkwood, the rookie, coming forward, already up a few spots.
He's one of only a handful of drivers on those alternate Firestone tires. Those are the softer red sidewall tires. They're the tire to be on today, the preferred tire by all the teams. So most of the teams are running their primaries first as Dalton Kellett goes around in 7.
Junior, what do you make of the opening laps of an IndyCar race? It's pretty frantic.
This track, though, is unique to me. Watching these guys in practice, the cars are moving around a lot of rear grip issues. They've been fighting loose.
And the first caution of the day flies.
Kellett kept it running, then dumped the clutch, spun it around, and then it stalled.
One of the big challenges at a track like this, we've talked about this in other races, they have a usable first gear. This is a 6-speed racetrack for these cars, so sometimes you only run a 5-speed box. The first gear is really only for getting in and out of pit lane. Here they use first gear on track, so it's a much taller gear, Townsend, and it's harder to spin the car up, especially on hot tires like that.
Yeah, then you go to try to get going on hot tires, and that's a recipe for disaster with a tall first. Hot tires and lots of grip as you see this side-by-side action. Oh boy.
Whoa.
Castro Neves, I think that was, on the outside of Will Power, gets into Malukas. This was brave from Elio.
The old Penske teammates arm wrestling in turn 7.
That's what race control needs to be looking at.
Yeah, I'm not going to call that brave. I'm going to call that complete loss of control going into the corner. Just misjudging your braking. Then here's Dalton Kellett on the inside of Jimmy Johnson. Got up on the curb and then into the side of the 48. And unfortunately just tipped the 4 around.
And we talked about how good Will Power was in qualifying. He's lost 12 spots since the start of the race. You have to wonder if all this contact is affecting the way that car is driving.
heard Will on the radio say terrible driving. I don't know if he's referring to himself or what dropped him from 4th to 16th. So he's going to come in. I wondered if some would go ahead and what the hope could be here. It's a 3-stop race. If there are more cautions, maybe you can still get home. I was told that some, if it stayed green, might come in as early as lap 8. Super safe, hope for a little caution. That's what these that stopped here. Takuma Sato is also rolling by, and also Pato Award, who had the earliest shoe, takes a stop here for Fresh Firestones.
We are ready to go back racing. That was a good, quick caution. Ready to go, and here we go.
And there you see push to pass seconds remaining. It's been Colton Herta, the 3rd place car. That black and yellow Gainbridge car has been on the button a lot so far, almost 25% of his total usage. They get 200 seconds for the races. Rossi goes to the inside.
And blows it, runs a little wide, Alexander Rossi. And here on the outside comes his teammate Colton Herta, up to 2nd.
It's a great gain from Colton Herta. He's +7 on the day already. This was your winner back in May in mixed conditions, qualified 14th and still pulled it off. And he is on a big attack today up to P2.
Hey, speaking about positional changes, word from race control, Joseph Newgarden needs to give up 2 positions for a track limits violation.
That is a surprise as we see some tight racing. Devlin DiFrancesco defending against Pillow in the American Legion car does not make the move happen. Dev holds on to that position, and McLaughlin just stalking in the background.
Just going to the Newgarden penalty, James, I can only assume that that's off the chicane on the backside. They talked about that in the driver's meeting, turn 6, running wide there on the exit.
Yeah, so on the outside of turn 6, there is a timing and scoring line outside of that curb on the exit tail. So if you have your transponder click that line, it means you've gone too far wide, and they are going to issue a penalty.
You're looking at the Gainbridge Honda of Colton Herta leading the way and leading well by 1.2 seconds. Let's have a look at how he got there.
Drafting up the back straightaway on Felix Rosenqvist. Textbook move. Ducks out of the draft, hard on the brakes, up the inside, makes it work.
And in half of a lap, Felix has lost 4 positions back and forth. He's holding a lot of guys up there behind him.
As we see some action down in pit lane now. Now it's starting. We made it to lap 11. They want to get off these primaries and a bunch of cars into pit lane. The theory in the paddock is that the alternate tires are going to be the better tires. I spoke to Colton Herta before the race, and he said, yeah, our plan is run those primaries as long as we possibly can, because at least one of those sets of alternates is a used set. They're not going to be as good. So Colton doing a great job extending this session on his primaries as more cars come into pit lane, Kevin Lee.
By the way, Joseph Newgarden, I'm not sure if we mentioned this or not, but he gave up those 2 spots under the caution. He had moved up to 3rd, falls back to 5th. He comes in right now. He's putting on a scuffed set of alternates. Connor Daly has got sticker reds right behind him. Connor running 6th, and he's slow getting out, and there's a problem. There's a problem. They've got to push him back. I can't see the outside, but is there a problem on the left rear? Connor Daly was running 6th on his way to look like a great opportunity today, but he's going to lose all kinds of track position and fall to the back.
He gets fired up again in the Bitnile Chevrolet, but that is just so costly. That is brutal for Connor Daly, who was enjoying a tremendously productive weekend.
As the entire field goes by, including all of the cars that had trouble earlier, that pitted earlier, there's no worse feeling in the world under green conditions than that.
They had lost a couple seconds on the stop as it was. It went from bad to worse as he stalled leaving pit lane, and here we go. McLaughlin now on those alternates, going by our pole sitter, Felix Rosenqvist, into turn 1.
Tell you what, this guy is on the move. McLaughlin is on a mission. He was frustrated yesterday. He was a little bit kind of bemused and confused as to why he couldn't find the speed in qualifying, but boy, he's got the race pace.
I'll tell you what confuses me is why isn't Rosenqvist on pit lane? They're in the window. He's falling down further and further behind. You got to figure it's a red race to the finish for them, Kevin, but why hasn't Rosenqvist pitted?
And they were talking a moment ago like they were getting ready to come in, so obviously they're trying to do something different and play the longer game at this point, but there is now still no movement on the 7 pit.
Pretty sure I heard Taylor Kyle say pit on the radio there. Maybe they're coming in this lap.
Mission on board giving us good shot. I think you're right. You can see him using the push to pass. There you go, coming in this lap.
Copy that. You have a clearing when you get here.
You try to use the push to pass, Dale, to have the best in lap you possibly can. You want to be as fast in on that out lap as well. These pit cycles under green are just so important.
No speed limit all the way to the line here.
And our leaders are in.
Yep, the front runners are in. That's Colton Herta, Alexander Rossi from Andretti Autosport. Dylan?
And Rossi wouldn't be the first one. They said they wouldn't be the first one to pit to take the blacks off. They've been really happy with their black tire pace here, but they'll put a set of sticker reds on now for Rossi. Send him out. Kevin.
Remember that contact at the beginning with Colton Herta and Will Power. They told Colton, we think you've got a little bit of right side body damage, so be careful. There's nothing you can do about it at this point. Plus one turn of front wing. Herta is back out, and he's in front of Alexander Rossi.
Pato O'Ward has another incident. Remember, he got turned at the first lap from Will Power. There was contact between Herta to Power, and it was then transferred over to Pato O'Ward. What happened to the Mexican driver? Let's have a look.
Just misses the braking zone of turn 1.
Smoke in the rears in the braking zone of turn 1. Usually you'll see the car slip and slide a little bit. When it flat locks up like that,
and you can hear it, Towns, on the onboard. The engine just dies. He flat sticks the motor there. You know, you very rarely see full tire smoke coming off the back of these things.
If we were to stay on the onboard, you'd probably see Pato O'Ward reach down with his right hand, start cranking in front bias, try to move that distribution to the front axle.
The leader is in. Scott McLaughlin stayed out long. This is going to be his primary run. This is the less preferred tire. It's more durable, but not nearly as fast. McLaughlin is back out, but that was a strong stint.
Marcus Ericsson, championship leader, had an engine issue yesterday.
Check out McLaughlin coming off the pit lane here, Diff, with Joseph Newgarden coming on hot tires. By the time they get to the back straightaway, that could be reasonably close, but on a hot day, those reds should come in pretty quick. But McLaughlin making that work by starting on the softer red.
Romain Grosjean in the DHL Honda for Andretti Autosport has had a tough weekend. Kevin Lee, given his history with 2 second places, and then he had an outside the top 15 finish at the last race. It's been a rugged weekend for the former F1 driver. What's happening now with Grosjean?
And remember the cheers from the fans when he was interviewed on the public address last year on NBC. He's not going to unfortunately hear cheers today. Running near the back. They've had a throttle sensor issue yesterday, brake issue. He said, we basically started our weekend today. Thought they were good, but he had some sort of a power issue. They told him to go into emergency mode in the first stint. Michael Andretti told him, we don't know what it was. And then he stalled on pit lane, unrelated, and now is running at the back. And it's unlikely to get a whole lot better. It's going to take a lot of luck for Grosjean to get back in play today.
Oh boy, and there's just one of the issues plaguing him today. Let's go to Christian Lundgaard and Rahal Letterman-Lanigan, because we need to give this 20-year-old rookie some praise. The Danish driver in the Shield Cleansers Honda is running 5th. He is on the same strategy as Colton Herta and Alexander Rossi. This is a great run.
And he's only 0.8 of a second behind Alexander Rossi, and appears to be stronger at this point in the stint, as Colton Herta has caught the back end. Who's he behind of Pato O'Ward, who's having to save mad fuel, I think, to make that early pit stop work.
The leader, Will Power, is in off strategy. He came in under the first caution after he got shoved off at the beginning and fell all the way back from starting up front. He'd like to do it in one more stop, but it's going to take massive fuel save or a caution to be able to make that work.
Yeah, himself, Pato O'Ward, and another driver came in on lap 4. So now we cycle back to what is the real running order, with Colton Herta at the top, Alexander Rossi 2nd, Rahal Letterman-Lanigan's Christian Lundgaard 3rd, and then Scott McLaughlin, who is off strategy from that top trio. He runs 4th at the moment.
Look at that battle there with Simon Pagenaud getting past Alex Palou. Rinus VeeKay in that orange car now all over the back of Palou. So these are the drivers that all stopped around lap 10 to 12, and they're all trying to make it to about lap 40 to put the primary tires on for a short stint before probably going reds to the end. But Palou is struggling big time on the reds right now.
And just lost 7th position there to Rinus VeeKay. Troubles continue for Palou. He's trying to defend from Felix Rosenqvist. Rosenqvist has Graham Rahal in the 1Q Honda all over the back of him. Look at this drag race up to turn 7. Rahal on the inside. He's trying to make 1, maybe 2 moves in the one go. Unsuccessful.
Oh, and if you're Alex Palou, James, you're looking in your mirror and you're thinking, oh man, come on, don't hit me. 2 cars side by side, challenging from behind, always sketchy. Palou manages to survive, but he is hanging on to his race car.
Yeah, that was heads-up driving there from Felix Rosenquist. He was getting challenged by Graham Rahal, ended up pulling off a pass on Alex Palou as Graham's going to look up the inside of turn 12 now. Nothing Palou can do there. Now Devlin DeFrancesco's taking a look inside of 13, and he dives into the pits. This is Alex Palou.
Oh, look out. Trouble for a multi-time winner here, Simon Pagenaud.
And they're out of fuel, guys. They just came on the radio and said, we're going to run out of fuel. You got to save. They didn't make it.
Oh, no.
Engine stalled.
Engine has stalled. So where will Pagenaud park his car?
Doesn't matter where he parks it. That's going yellow. We see everybody lining up in pit lane. This kind of saves Scott McLaughlin.
This is the situation where IndyCar could determine that Pagenaud's in a safe spot, give everybody come to pit lane as the battle with Newgarden and McLaughlin has led to Newgarden getting by. But I think you'll see everybody come here because IndyCar is leaving the pits open.
Oh, they are. They're diving fast. VK, Rosenquist, Rahal, DeFrancesco, Dixon, Harvey, and more.
But the top 5 were all past pit in. They didn't get to benefit. Dylan.
Taking a look here at a couple of the race cars. We got Rosenquist and VK in, Kevin.
So we're going to see Colton Herta come down to his box, but he's near pit out, waiting and watching, and Herta hasn't shown at this point, so we're still waiting for the leaders to make their way down to pit lane. Meanwhile, Connor Daly is going to exit. Guys, did Colton Herta get the call? Did he come in?
No, remember Mid-Ohio. They missed getting Colton Herta in. Rossi's in, though. Now Colton Herta's come. So I think they missed a chance the first time. IndyCar leaving things open until everybody's had a chance, and there goes the caution.
But this goes to the benefit like we saw at Mid-Ohio. I disagree with how they're doing this. Now, these guys do not have to do an outlap where so many others did. I guess all the cars that just came out, they didn't really do an outlap.
There's not a perfect solution, but I disagree. This is the most fair that it can be, because if you throw the yellow and somebody was able to duck in, it's totally unfair.
Wow, that was close between Rossi and Newgarden. McLaughlin's in as well.
Watch the Team Penske battle. We saw this at Iowa under caution. Who gets it? McLaughlin's out first. Newgarden loses it to McLaughlin. Now they're both on reds. That'll be frustrating for Joe New.
Look at the times down in the corner. 7.2 for Newgarden, 5.7 from the thirsty threes.
That's because the thirsty threes weren't that thirsty. He had only run a short stint. He didn't need as much fuel. Unlucky for Newgarden in that situation.
Ready to go again, and we're going to see some big moves. Watch the third car. Is Christian Lundgaard going to spring a surprise on Alexander Rossi?
The rookie Lundgaard is having his best IndyCar day of his career as the green flag is out. Dust is flying, and Colton Herta with a monster jump on his teammate Rossi.
And Alexander Rossi missed the turn 13 apex a little bit. That gives a sniff to Christian Lundgaard, but further back, Pato Ward looking at Joseph Newgarden, who's looking at Scott McLaughlin down into turn 1.
That's good defensive driving. Takuma Sato is in the mix in 9th, the 2-time Indy 500 winner. Look at this scrap. There's championship leader, or the championship leader for the last 5 rounds. That's Marcus Ericsson in the Husky Chocolate Honda. He's in damage control mode. He had an 8-point lead coming into this race. He's now 11 points behind Will Power. He's trying to salvage everything he can.
But Diff, you keep talking defense. Ericsson second, 11 down right now. He's got to attack. I think this is the trigger for Ericsson to know you're not going to win this championship by trying to control damage. You need to inflict damage on the competition.
And he was not able to get past Devlin DeFrancesco there into 7. Big defensive move down the inside from Dev. He's on the primaries. Ericsson behind on the alternates. You can see the string of cars. I'm looking at Dev, I'm looking at Palou, the 2 cars up there running on the primaries on this restart. That is not ideal.
I'm going to be polite and ask you, Mr. Bell, is it okay if I counter you? Can I offer you an argument in defense of defending? Because a few cars ahead.
You cannot.
Well, I'm going to do it anyway. A few cars ahead is the Scott Dixon. Scott Dixon once had a 100-point championship lead over Joseph Newgarden and lost points every single race on the inside. That's a great move. Takuma Sato, Graham Rahal, his old teammate, and he loses another position. Make it 3. Dixon's on the inside.
Oh, Sato just getting muscled all over the place. Rahal and Sato, former teammates, not the best of friends, however, as DeFrancesco to the outside of Ericsson with authority.
That's again another great defensive move from Devlin DeFrancesco. That's opened up Marcus Ericsson to an attack from Jack Harvey down into turn 7. 3 wide on the brakes.
Uh-oh. You wanted him to attack. He goes on the attack, but Ericsson loses a spot to Harvey.
And that's the smart place to be defensive. If you're Marcus Ericsson, Devlin DiFrancesco is driving for his future, driving for the next opportunity. Ericsson knows that this is a low percentage chance. He wisely backs out to protect his card.
So just to finish that point, Dixon once had a 100-point lead over Joseph Newgarden. It dwindled to 16, but Dixon defended his way to his 6th NTT IndyCar Series title. We'll see what happens to the Husky Chocolate driver. Drama's here for Colton Herta. What's happened to the Gainbridge Honda?
Oh, no.
The race leader.
We saw that bodywork damage from the contact with Will Power on lap 1.
Can you keep going? Can you keep going?
It's over and out.
Engine is running, but it doesn't sound like it's in gear. Understand that
in the pit lane if you can.
doesn't sound like he can get it in gear. Maybe it's clutch issues we're
I
hearing.
don't think I can.
Oh, no.
We're staying green. He's still moving. He's rolling towards pit lane, but if he doesn't have the momentum to get all the way down that long pit entry, Townsend, they will have to go yellow.
Some sort of Achilles heel going on in Andretti this season. We've heard too many clutch issues between Herta, some of his teammates, as David Malukas has to go wide in turn 1 and take the overshoot. But for the Gainbridge, the number 26 here, just total heartbreak.
So there's nothing I can do. I'm emergency mode, I'm off emergency mode. There's no gears.
Nothing I can do. What went on here between McLaughlin and Johnson?
Jimmy Johnson got way wide at the apex at turn 4. McLaughlin with the run. There's contact between McLaughlin's front wing and the back end of Jimmy Johnson.
Alexander Rossi, who last won in this series in Road America 2019. That's kind of hard to fathom, isn't it? It has been a long time for one of the sport's most talented drivers.
And Rossi said definitively yesterday after qualifying, we have the fastest car in race trim. If we get a good start, we should have a very good day. He was super confident that this was possible.
Yeah, running on board with him on the AutoNation onboard right now. He admitted that he did not have that single lap pace that Felix Rosenquist showed in qualifying. That was a dominating performance from Felix, but as you said, insanely confident about his race car. I spoke to him after warm-up. I said, how was it? He said, mega, no problems.
Word from race control further down in the field. Elio Castro Neves is being sent to the back of the field for avoidable contact with AJ Foyt Racing's Kyle Kirkwood.
Not the first time that Castro Neves has been under review today, but let's take a look at a little more hate going on through the field. This is Connor Daly going to the outside of turn 12, making the long way around. This looks a lot like Grosjean and Rossi at Mid-Ohio. DiFrancesco on the inside, doesn't leave Connor any room, and that led to some pretty fiery radio from the Irish-American. Let's listen.
Devlin needs to be kicked out of this racing series. He's an idiot. Lock them up. Keep going.
Yeah, being mad about it doesn't help you catch him. You just got to focus. What's happen's happened. Eyes forward. He did manage to get around him. Devlin struggling on those primary tires. Connor on the red alternates.
The number I kept hearing is you want to get to lap 60. That's safe to make it home, so Will Power is going to hit that mark. It's still a fuel save, but it should work out. And he's got a set of sticker reds. This is the preferred tire. It's softer, it's faster. Last stop for Will Power, pitting from third, getting all the fuel he can in there. He's out and away.
So too was Scott Dixon, as you saw in the PNC Bank Honda. That was Pato O'Ward in the Arrow McLaren Chevy. So Dixon, who had made up 13 positions from his starting spot, having a fabulous run.
Here we see several coming in. Scott McLaughlin is going to make his last stop. He has a set of sticker reds. Joseph Newgarden, there we see, he has the sticker reds. He has the best spot on pit lane of these. So Newgarden going to his final stop. Remember, yesterday morning, we didn't even know if he could race. Now he's in the mix of the championship, and he's going to win the race off pit road. Rinus VeeKay leaves after him, and then it's Graham Rahal in the One Cure car.
Big gap for Power there. Should be good on fuel to the end.
Into this closing stanza of the Gallagher Grand Prix. How is this going to shake out? We're waiting for race leader Alexander Rossi, Christian Lundgaard in the Shield Cleansers Honda, Scott McLaughlin, Rosenquist and Ericsson. Here he is, leaders in.
need a money stop here. They've talked about how their pit crew needs to be perfect here today. They're going to need it again. Used reds going on for Rossi here, trying to win for the first time in 49 races, Kevin.
And Scott McLaughlin has made up great ground, starting back in 15th. That means he had an extra set of the softer red Firestones, and he's got him for this final stop. He's been running up near the lead. The blend, these in and out laps as we see Alexander Rossi go by. Also Christian Lundgaard, the rookie, having another impressive run. McLaughlin is out and way. Hey guys, let's see where he mixes in.
Here's the battle with McLaughlin and Power as McLaughlin takes that long run down pit lane. And off the final corner, there goes Will Power. Similar gap, but here comes Newgarden. So McLaughlin will be out in front of Newgarden, but behind teammate Power.
Guys, don't lose sight of Christian Lundgaard. Lundgaard mirrored Rossi out of that pit exit and is shadowing the race leader. The 21-year-old Dane is poised for his first podium in the NTT IndyCar Series. He may even go one better and get his first win.
DeFrancesco off in the grass. Not sure what happened.
Lost a couple spots. I believe was running 17th at the time, maybe 18th. Let's try to take a look back. Here he is, Jack Harvey right in front. Does he make a move? Yes, he does. Jack Harvey on the primaries, and Devlin just looks like sends him with too much speed, locks up the inside front, and then John Deere's it across the grass.
Yeah, look to the left, look to the left. Woo! That's a rookie braking very deep.
Not exactly cruising to victory. Rossi with quite a snap there coming on to turn 14.
Yeah, it's fine. And the gap's gone from 3.5 seconds down to 2.3, back out to over 4.
Oh.
What's going on there in the left rear?
Uh-oh.
All right, that I don't like. I thought you meant the
body
little
drag, or is that a brake issue?
Guys, the day's not getting any better for Connor Daly in the Bitnile Chevy for Ed Carpenter Racing. Race control has just deemed that he has been blocking and he has been instructed to give up a position.
Wow, must be pretty dramatic because we don't hear of blocking penalties very often in IndyCar. They usually allow fierce defense, as you see fierce defense from Castro Neves on Devlin DeFrancesco there. Let's see what happened with Connor Daly. Castro Neves up the inside of turn 1.
Been an eventful day for Elio.
Yeah.
Elliott goes wide there. Not sure why. I guess this is not related to Connor's penalty. This is just
perhaps
going a little late
earlier
there from the 0.6.
Oh. Whew. Look at the buildup of the shoulder on the left front tire with Connor Daly. It'll start to fade here. Well, not really. I thought it would in a right-hander. That left front is roasted.
That is cooked.
You don't really see two grooves like that very often.
No, for sure not. That shows some sort of massive imbalance in the handling. No doubt a lot of understeer happening in this car right now. Turns the wheel, it just doesn't want to go, but this car has been going just fine as Alexander Rossi takes the white flag, guys. 1 lap to go.
And for Christian Lundgaard, 1 more lap for his first IndyCar podium. His previous best finish, 8th at Toronto. He's finished 9th here before, but this is a huge improvement for a career best for a young driver out of Europe who came here with so much potential and is half a lap from realizing it.
And it's been trending the right way for Lundgaard because 3 top 10s in the last 5 races for the Danish driver. But it's an all stars and stripes affair up front in this Napa Auto Parts Auto Nation Honda for Alexander Rossi.
And let me just tell you, if you are thinking of sending Alexander Rossi a congratulatory text message if he brings this home,
he won't respond.
Don't bother doing it. He will not open it. He will not read it. He will not respond.
Alexander Rossi is driving his way to victory lane. He will become the 8th different winner this year with still 4 races to go. Remember, Nashville next weekend. Cannot wait for that. But let's celebrate this moment, because one of the sport's frontrunners has had lean times over the past 3 years. Not anymore. Alexander Rossi ends a 3-year drought and is an IndyCar race winner again. The first time at the Brickyard on the road course. He's won on the big track at the big race, the Indianapolis 500. Rossi is now a winner on the Brickyard road course.
And you don't see him going crazy in the cockpit. What I see is exhale, relief.
Great job, boys. Great job.
49 races, June 23rd, 2019. That was the last time you got to celebrate one of these. How good does it feel to be back in victory lane?
It's a relief, man. It's been so many things for so long, and I do feel for Colton. I do. but I'm happy. Like, thankfully something came our way, and I just want to give a huge shout out to Andretti Autosport and their continued belief in Napa Auto Parts and Auto Nation. I'm so happy to drive pink, and the Honda Power, everything was, there's just been so much belief for so long, and it's nice to finally accomplish it.
Watch the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix Sunday, August 7th at 3 p.m. on NBC.